Hello, everyone. I'm Jane Talbot, Vice President and COO of the DVBIA. It is my pleasure to welcome you to today's virtual cooking class. We are so glad you could join us over our lunch, and we hope you brought your appetites, as this is sure to be a fabulous hour of interactive learning. I am very pleased to welcome today's guest, Chef Alex Chen, a classically trained chef with a true taste for high-pressure competitions. Chef Alex led Team Canada to a top 10 finish at a 2013 culinary competition in Lyon, France, prior to opening Boulevard Kitchen and Oyster Bar in 2014. In both 2015 and 17, he went on to claim the top spot in the annual Gold Medal Plates Regional Championships in Victoria, BC, as well as winning a gold medal at the 2018 National Canadian Culinary Championships. Also in 2018, Alex was awarded Chef of the Year at the Vancouver Magazine Restaurant Awards and became the first challenger to beat an Iron Chef when he defeated Hugh Atkinson during the inaugural season of the Food Network Canada's Iron Chef Canada TV series. Alex is also a chef and judge on the Food Network Canada cooking competition series Wall of Chefs, which premiered just over a year ago in February 2020. His restaurant, Boulevard Kitchen and Oyster Bar, is located on Burrard Street. This beautiful venue is known for its fresh seafood and West Coast fare. We've hosted some of our own events there, and although we can't all be together in person today with you, being online with Alex is the next best thing. Now, before we start, a few notes about the process for today's event. At any point throughout the session, if you have a question, please feel free to unmute your microphone and ask Chef Alex directly. If you'd prefer to write your question in the chat, I'll keep an eye on this feature and can raise the question on your behalf. Unless asking a question, we ask that you keep your microphones muted throughout the lesson and you keep your cameras on. And finally, we would love to see some of the results of your efforts today. So if you end up making something you're really proud of, please snap a photo and send it to us via email to dvbia@dtvan.ca. We would love to see some of the results of your efforts. And with that, I thank you all again for being here and extend a heartfelt welcome to Chef Alex. Thank you for instructing us today, Alex. Over to you. Have fun, everyone.
And then on my resume, my achievement, please only believe half, because it's sometimes I still pinch myself, just kind of like, did I actually achieve all of that? Regardless, thank you for allowing me to share my food with you. In front of you, you guys should have 5 items that it's going to be. Today's class is not really a cooking class, but more about like sharing food, sharing how to put small bites together for canapé. Perhaps these are the small little things that you can think ahead. It's all about, in our term, we always focus on mise en place. So what does that mean? That means that it's all about prep. It's all the small little things that you can do ahead so that you don't have to run around while hosting a party. Eventually, not right now. So very basic equipment that is needed. First and foremost, I set the oven at 350 Fahrenheit, convection if possible. And then right here, we have our grilled cheese. So obviously it's a rectangular, but try not to put the cheese on the tray where the cheese is sitting on top of the it's going to stick to the pan. So put it on the flat side down. If you don't have a parchment paper, you can use a non-stick a pan, or you can just use a tray. You can just spray with a non-stick spray. So this is for the oven later. First, I want to focus on the smoked salmon. So the box should be all labeled. So this one's the smoked salmon. We have the one for beef carpaccio, and we have the butternut squash, and we have the Spanish tortilla. So this one right here, cucumber, it's been hollowed out. So flip it over on the other side, you'll see the hollow side. Inside, you have coho salmon that has been smoked by us, cured. So we cure them in brown sugar and salt for 12 hours. And the next day, we rinse them in cold water, just really, really quick, just to get rid of the excess salt, and brush in with a little bit of oil, just because it's act as a infusion or or vehicle for flavors and stuff as we smoke it. So we cold smoke it in the oven with no heat, and then on ice for about 4 hours. We have different garnish that my team has put together. We have some chives, some triangle of red onions. I think that's classically cucumber, smoked salmon, chives, red onion all goes well together. But we put a little bit of water into the container so that it can dilute the harshness of the red onion, so it's not so in your face. It's a little bit more elegant. And then the salmon eggs, we also cure it on ourselves with a little bit of salt solutions, and then we lightly smoke them as well. Creme fraiche. Creme fraiche is one of my favorite ingredients. Creme fraiche is essentially almost the same flavor profile as sour cream. It just has 10% more fat. In terms, it's a little bit more elegant. It's not as acidic. It's a little bit more natural. It has its own more natural bacteria that thicken it instead of using a thickener like a sour cream stabilizer to thicken the product. So to me, it's just a much more elegant, and we whipped it up with a small amount of whipped cream and then chopped dill added to it. So small little spoon, little hot water, and then I just do a small little into the hollow. The cucumber, what I've done is I use a round cutter. I punch it out. I slice it into a little segment. I punch it out so that it's all solid. I was using a Parisian scoop, a melon baller, and I scoop out the middle. So there's all these little things you can do it ahead of time. Like could you do yesterday, depending on the size of the party. And then all you have to do is just assemble it at the end. There's a little salmon egg, pure salmon egg. Red onion. It's on top. The chive, you will see that the natural tip of it, it's just like it's nice and pointy. I usually like to use that as a point. So I think that it's just much more sharp versus the one that I cut. So just like it just looks so much better. You can have it on your favorite platter, however you want to serve them. You can serve it like a sushi station, and then you can just feed it to the guests before you go on to the next course. So at this point right now, I also want to start putting some of the hot food into the oven as well. So grilled cheese, have set the oven at 350 degrees with the fan or without fan, it doesn't matter. So we do it about 9 minutes. So I'm just gonna put it in there right now. And at the same time, we also want to do the same thing with the Spanish tortilla. So what it is basically an omelet, like a Spanish omelet with really simple ingredients: potatoes, olive oil, and then the eggs. So a lot of time that when you go to Spain, they will debate to death, till death and stuff, that whether some region want to have onions or not. So those are just the argument. But basically, you take the potato. I chose to use a Yukon potato. I find them sweeter, and cut them really, peel the skin off, cut them really thinly sliced, and then I fry them in a vegetable oil. Although I like the olive oil flavor, but I think that if you fry the potato into the olive oil, it's just going to be too strong. So we do it when ensuring the potato will be cooked. So we do it in the oil, we cook it, and then we take it out, lay it flat, so we can season it with salt, so it's properly seasoned. And then when you pierce the potato, it should just pierce right through with a paring knife, so it should be nice and tender. Then we have nice free-range eggs that has been whipped up, a little bit of seasoning, salt and pepper, small amount of paprika, and then I took onions, thinly sliced, olive oil. I sweat, not caramelized, not saute. I don't want it to be too dark, so lightly sweat them until they're just softened. Cool everything down, and then I mix the ingredients together, and then eggs, and I went into a pan with olive oil. At this time, I just want to set the bottom of the potato, and then I just slowly finish off in the oven. So you go to a lot of you go to Spain, you could go to the market. They will make this fresh for you. They will make this fresh for you for breakfast. A lot of time, the eggs, the good one, will come to you when you cut right into it. There's still a small amount of eggs that is not fully cooked. It's still a little bit ever so runny on the outside. Most of it, 90% of it, it's somewhat set, but then the finesse is where a small amount of eggs is still a little bit runny. That's when you know that they have done it with care and a lot of experience. So this one will also need to go inside the oven, 350 until they're hot. It's about 9 minutes or so. So we'll come back to the assembling. Here, next we'll do the carpaccio. So Parmesan frico, Parmesan crisp. So grated Parmesan on a microplane. It's been we set the oven at 325 or so, and then with a silk pad or on a parchment paper, lightly spray with a non-stick spray. We just put a sprinkle amount, just a small little circle, and then we bake them until they're light golden brown. It's it's also very crucial that we have to keep an eye on the color. Light golden brown like this. If it gets a little bit over, it's going to become really bitter. And then while it is still pliable, it is still soft, which is somewhat molded like a little cup, like a little tuna. So in this kit right here, you'll find the sherry vinaigrette, the vinaigrette that we made with a sherry vinegar, because we're talking, we like a little bit of acid into the carpaccio, a little mustard seeds in there, and then the Parmesan cheese that we slice, and then we punch it with, we cut it out with a little bit of, with the round cutter. Porcini mayonnaise. We took porcini powder, dry porcini powder, which is like really fragrant. We infuse it with oil. We vacuum seal them. We cook it in a 70 degrees Celsius for about 6 hours, and it was strained the next day. Then we begin the process of making a mayonnaise. So like a porcini mayonnaise. And then we should have a few leaves of micro arugula. And underneath here, you'll see the carpaccio. The carpaccio that we are using is actually a Wagyu product from Canada. It's a brand Lake Wagyu that coming out of Alberta, which is they've been doing a really, really good job. So it's great to support Canadian farmers so that we can continue to use a Canadian product as local as possible. If it's not local within Canada, always need to be seasonal. So just a small amount of vinaigrette on the beef. Dollop of porcini mayonnaise. Parmesan cheese on top, crispy Parmesan cheese, and then fortify with the fresh Parmesan cheese. Little baby arugula. This pour right now, I'm going to go check my oven. Surface of so what I use the bread, it's a sourdough, so it's nice and crispy. In the middle, it's one of my favorite cheese. I use a Gruyere. I love Comté. I love Gruyere cheese. I love Cave Age. I just think that there's just such a refined nuttiness to this cheese. I love Parmesan cheese too, but they don't melt too well. So butter, the sourdough on the outside, and then we put the Gruyere cheese, and then grated truffles. The black truffles is still in season right now, coming out of Spain. Normally, we either get it from Spain or we get it from Périgord region of France. So I think I love natural, the natural black truffles or the flavors of the truffles so much more than just the synthetic truffle oils. This is much more subtle, but at least the flavors is real.
To flush. I for some reason I don't know how to do that. Yeah.
So, and then this one right here, what we have is I love making terrines. This is the classic French technique in me that I love making beautiful terrines, because then it's a lot of effort, but the result is just stunning. So what we have over here, it's because we're still using a lot of sage and a lot of the warm spices and a lot of the squash that just still, I think that right now it's so comforting. Squash, butternut squash, I love the color, I love the sweetness. And what we did, we sliced it really, really thin, and then we roasted it with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper into the oven. And we took some cream cheese, we whip it up with a little bit of cream, maple syrup, so that has the little maple essence. And then we painstakingly just built each layer, trim everything out. So just kind of like they form one layer, another layer with cream cheese, and then with a little bit of gelatin as we built the multiple levels. So this one, actually, I'm just going to take the spoon. You can use any spoon. You can use any sort of a smaller ramekin, but it should just be fun. It should just be something that whatever you have at home, you shouldn't have to go buy it. Specifically buying it. And then at this point right now, I'm just going to take my tortilla out because it looks good to me now. I'm just going to let it rest. What we have over here is sort of like a toasted nuts and seed, little pine nuts, little sunflower seeds, little pumpkin seeds, little sherry vinegar, a little pumpkin seed oil. Just add everything together. Just add a little contrast. Just gonna put a little bit on top. What we have over here is crispy fried sage. For garnish. Canapé, the platter is slowly coming together. Now I can go back to the final steps. They're not flat. I'd like to trim them down a little bit. It's definitely nice and hot. So for the hot items, 350 degrees, the sourdough grilled cheese went in there about 5 minutes. This thing stayed in there about close to 9 minutes or so. So what we have over here, aioli, just fancy word for mayonnaise with garlic. Just a little garlic, lemon juice, a little bit of water, olive oil, and then egg yolk, just emulsify. Slowly emulsify, and then just so we'll dollop on top. I love using churros, just nice and elegant, but at the same time, whatever herbs that you have, chive, thyme, parsley, whatever you feel like, even a small little sprig of just one needle of like rosemary is fine as well. And then everything just come together. So with the platter itself, I think it's just fun for the guests when eventually we can have a gathering again. You have some coal, you have some crunchy, you have some fish, you have some raw meat, some vegetarian option, and vegetarian option. Just like it's just you can plan ahead. I pretty easy to make a grilled cheese. Maybe not the terrain. Like I think that the tortillas is fairly easy. It's just a matter.
Hi there.
Hi.
Sorry about that. I was on mute.
I can hear you. Yeah. Go ahead.
That was fantastic. I do have a question. It's wife. He's unfortunately not able to make it, but the porcini powder, where would I get that?
That's a good question. I think that a lot of the specialty store, maybe at the urban fair, I like to say, but certainly you can get it through the website from a Ponderosa Mushroom. You can get it online, but local company in Vancouver called Ponderosa Mushrooms. You can actually buy it. I think more people should be using it. I love the flavor profile. Adding it into a porcini risotto, like a mushroom risotto, or it actually is really magical. I love grilling steak, just salt pepper grill. But I think the magic is when you do take a steak, when you season it and added a little bit of porcini powder and searing it like as if you're a Cajun, the steak, lots of butter, crushed garlic, fresh thyme, and then the small amount of rosemary, just base. It's magical, in my opinion.
Sounds delicious.
Thank you.
I have a porcini powder that I got from West Coast Wild Foods, if you want to see it.
Right, exactly.
Oh,
yeah, that's
okay.
Lots of,
West Coast Wild Foods.
Yeah, it's 100%
Fantastic.
from BC.
I'll have a look at that. And the only other question, what was in the pumpkin topping on the butternut squash? The pumpkin seeds with, was it just olive oil?
The pumpkin seeds was with the, so we put a little bit of sherry vinegar in there as well. So we toast all the seeds, the pine nuts, the pumpkin seeds, and the sunflower seeds and pine nuts, and we toast them, and into the pan a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of pumpkin seed oil, and then the sherry vinegar, salt, pepper. Just kind of look at, because although it's just a small bite, but then it is fairly rich because it has a good amount of cream cheese in each of the layer. So just add a little acid, just a little complexity to the dish.
Lovely. Thank you so much. That was fantastic.
Thank you. Enjoy your little snack.
I would love to show you what it looks like, but maybe we'll have to post it. One second, have a look.
Can I see it? Yeah.
I feel like I'm an expert. Thank
Oh,
you for
wow.
making it so easy. I love it.
Wow. There you
You
guys
did a
go.
great job in preparing these for us.
You guys have to take over my job. You know, that's awesome.
Not
Beautiful,
quite.
guys.
We
No,
get
Thank you.
It's all about, it's all about assembling, putting it together. I'm happy to be able to see that you guys are happy, and that makes my day.
Thank you
Enjoy
so
that.
much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Chef Alex.
Thank you.
I hope to see you
Have a good
soon
day.
at
Thank you.
Boulevard.
email, please, to send the photos. I took some great photos. I just don't know where to email them.
Yeah. Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, please send the emails to dbbia@dtvan.ca. Yeah. Okay. And Alex, I just want to confirm, are there final questions, or is there anything else that you would like to add before we wrap up?
No, I thought that this is a great opportunity. Thank you for allowing us to curate I think that in this environment, normally we would serve you in the restaurant in our setting, but I think that with this time right now, we're adapting to this sort of style. I think that we can still find success, and then as a customer wise, we're just simply setting them up for success. As
Absolutely.
we are going more and more into this virtual teaching classes, I'm in the process of curating a lot of more content, where every week it's going to be a new rotation of meal kit that you can buy, whether it's a French onion soup, whether it's a steak, black peppercorn steak, a coq au vin, like a dope above. I love classic a bistro style food and stuff. Every week's going to change, but at the same time, we will also pre-record a cooking class that way you can just. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be going back. Everything that I have in front of me, you guys will have, because then when you guys buy the meal kit at the end, you guys will get exactly sort of like that. I'm going to set you guys up for success. I'm going to be your teacher. You guys will have access to it online cooking class that's been pre-recorded. You guys can always record. You guys can always fast forward. If I talk too much, slow it down. Be like, what did he just do again? I think that I think that's kind of fun. I think that it's going to be like 8 sets of menu that is going to be continuous to rotate as it reflect on the season, whatever that local ingredients that's going to be available. Perhaps halibuts around the season, spot prawns around the season, as asparagus come about, morel mushrooms, things that just slowly come back to life. I think that's what everyone is looking forward to. At least for me, anyway, since if I can't travel, at least I can see the nature bloom right in front of us, that we can just share our food, share our passion with everyone. So stay tuned. I'm super excited about those cooking classes and the meal kit that rotates every week. So we will share that as soon as as a team ready to share. So
that was amazing. So good. Are there any final questions from our participants before we say goodbye today, and before we say one final thank you to Chef Alex? Okay, Chef Alex, that was absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. One of the things that I loved about it is, I don't cook a lot, and I've always wanted to, and watching you do it, put pieces of the puzzle together for me, and it made it seem like it wasn't so intimidating, let's put it that way. And it seemed like something that would be a lot of fun to try and a lot of fun to do. So thank you for making it look fun, and also sharing your art and your craft with us. It was truly a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I actually just have one more question quickly before we leave. I just thought about it. What type of cheese is in the grilled cheese again? And do you have a recipe that we can have for the tortilla?
It's quite funny, because it's like, first and foremost, I don't really cook anything with recipe. I just sort of throw things together.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll try. I'll try to put a recipe together for how much potato, how much eggs. The cheese wise for the grilled cheese is a Gruyere cheese. It's one of my favorite cheese that you know, it's nutty. It's I don't know. It's in the same category as a Comté cheese, but like I don't know. I just find them really tasty. We use the Gruyere cheese in the bouillabaisse as well for grated Gruyere with Rouy and stuff. So it's a cheese that I'm familiar with. You can certainly buy it from Les Amis de Fromage.
Right. Okay.
I
Thank you.
have a question too. Sorry, Chef Alex.
It's okay. All good. I'm here.
Mhm.
So do you serve these items, like, are they on the menu at your restaurant as well?
Well, it's because normally I like this. I say yes because we do have a banquet in the hotel in the past, but right now obviously we can't have any gathering. There's no banquet right now, so certainly these are things that we have on hand in terms of building all these little small bites together. We have a carpaccio on the menu right now. Smoked salmon, we can rotate through the menu, but all the small little bites is just I love working with different clients. And as I first and foremost, when people come to me, they just say, hey, you know, like, chef, we're looking for to do a party like this. This is what I want. So what I do is, first thing, I ask the questions like what, when, how many. So I want to understand the whole logistical, when's the season, how big is the capacity. That's when I understand all of it, the whole package. That's when I like to curate a bespoke menu for the group. So I don't like to keep a same thing on all the time, so that I like to customize menu for each of the different group that comes my way. So usually that's how I stay creative, and yet at the same time still working with the client to curate something that's sort of like a collaboration. So I could just, like with this, I thought of logistic. You guys will receive this a day before, and then how long will certain thing last? You know, there's no deep fryer, there's nothing crispy. How do I get texture when I deliver to you guys? I thought, okay, sourdough, you know, goes into the oven, comes back alive. Small little things like that, just like when we write a menu, not just be like I'm sitting down writing the menu and then as we go paste and copy, but it certainly is listening to the client and then creating a package so that it best serve you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
It really does. I'm so excited to try this out. I also want to just put the email address out again. It is dvbia@dtvan.ca. And please share your photos and share your thoughts with us. We would love to see and hear them. So I suppose we are just about done. And to those participating today, I hope you enjoyed learning how to make these amazing recipes. I'm sure they'll elevate your home cooking experience, even if you're just hosting your immediate family. And once again, a sincere and heartfelt thank you to Chef Alex. And again, we just appreciate your time and your expertise so much, and the opportunity to share an hour with you and learn from you. And thank you again to everyone who joined us online.
Hope to see you guys soon at the restaurant.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
everyone.
much.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.